So here I have a little piece of cardstock, and one of the tricks that I have used for this is that I have folded this corner to corner to find the center, and also to show that I am repeating around the center. So this is what I have created from last week, and this is going to be my general idea. So I have built a few quills, and I now can start planning out the process of getting it all put together. And I can actually look at this design and decide if I like it and what I can do to make it better. One of this, about 7 of these, about 7 of these, and about 7 of these. If you're using the tool that I taught you how to make, you can get a piece of paper, slide it into the tool, remember all the way to the very edge, and start to roll it up. If your toothpick is not round, it's not as easy to use it, I've found. Now the goal of this is to try to make them the same. If it is going to be radially symmetrical, then the motif, or what repeats, has to be the same. My goal, therefore, is to make this quill look the same as this quill. So I will allow it to expand until it is the size of the quill that I already have. I know that some of you do not have liquid glue, so I'm just going to show you how to do that here. I rub some of the glue onto it, compare it one more time, and then hold very hard so that the glue has time to dry on the surface. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I take another piece of paper of this color, slide it into my tool at the very end, and then roll up my quill. So yes, this does take some time, and that's why this week is all about creating your quills and finishing up your patterns. Making your design small is also important, so it doesn't take too long. So I'm going to be creating 7 of those, 7 of these S shapes, which I'll show you, and 7 of these teardrops, which I will also show you. I'm also going to show you the technique for rolling these quills without using any tools. So all I have to do is just get a small fold, and once it catches, I can roll within my fingers. I let this expand to the size of the first part of the S, and I rub some glue onto the surface. There to make sure, and then hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Now that that has been secured, I am going to go to the other end and roll it in the opposite direction, creating that tiny little fold there at the end, and then rolling toward the center. Now I'm going to compare this side. I want it to open up a little bit, so I'm actually going to stretch it until it is the same size. Rub some glue onto the surface, and then hold it steady so the glue can dry. So what I can do is I can just take a little chunk of glue off with my finger, rub it on there, compare and contrast, and then hold it steady. This time I think I'm going to hold it for a little bit longer because these S shapes do not glue as easily. I'm going to move on to this teardrop. I have some blue paper that I have prepared. I cut all these pieces the same length so that when I go to roll these up, I have the same size, rolling the entire quill. Remove it, let it grow. This one I have to just look at. I want it to have the same openness as this teardrop that I've made. So I am looking at it, and I'm looking at the spiral in the center, and I'm comparing the spirals to see if they look the same. That is how I'm going to create the pattern here. Don't want to have the same problem that I did last time, so I'm going to get more glue onto it. And then I'm going to hold it steady, pressing against my thumb and finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And then, because I want it to have a little point, I am going to squish the top of the paper to make it pointy on the top, but not on the bottom. I'm just going to show you really quick how to get this all glued down, because you should be working on this as well. I'm going to gouge off some glue. This really works better if you have liquid glue, but like I said, if you just don't have it, all is not lost. It's just going to take a little bit more time. You want all of the edges of the paper to touch your cardboard, so you're going to press it all down all along its length. Now these are going to go around the edge of the center one. That's starting my pattern that will turn into the full mandala. My drawing is not exactly the right size, So I'm going to approximate. And I do the same thing with all of them. If I had completed all 7, I would be able to complete this row. I want to place these as close as possible because I don't want the cardboard to show. The cardboard's not very interesting. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start laying in the design. I want these to go in between, so I can at least lay down the ones that I have built already. Whatever pattern you choose to use, that's up to you. But I just really like the way this fits together. It doesn't leave a lot of gaps. And so it might be a fun addition to your mandala. Now, I don't want to lay this one in yet. Well, I guess I could. You might notice that I had to change my pattern a little bit in order to make it work, because the way that the quills laid on the paper just wasn't exactly the way I expected. And that is totally fine. Please always plan ahead and then plan to make some changes. So if I were to continue this pattern all the way around the edge, I would be done with my quilled mandala. You can also wrap paper around the outside edge if you'd like to create the circle. You can cut your background into a different shape. You can decorate the background with markers. You can add a little string so that it hangs on the wall. There are so many things. But the main idea is that you make a lot of quills and you start building up your pattern so that by the end of the project, you have some really neat quilled mandalas. Enjoy and get rolling.
Bye.